Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Man, we finally got our house done, and it's kind of neat. You know, my wife really designed this house, and in the old house I really never displayed any trophies or any memorabilia, and we built a bookcase just for trophies and some of the stuff that just good memories from our past. You know, when I look at it, it just brings back lots of things. So I was just gonna kind of let you guys dive off into a little bit of a few of the things in this case and what they mean to me. This one right here, this is my very first major tournament win. You know, I'd won a few boats on Texoma, but that was in 2003, Lake Eufaula. It was just like, wow, I was so broke at that time. I mean, I didn't have any money at all, and to win that, I went from living in a trailer house that I paid $7,500 for to buying my first house. I'll never forget it. I bought a house in 80 acres for 95,000 bucks. So I had $5,000 left over to pay taxes. But no, that was my very first trophy. Really cool. You just, you know, Alabama River, Lake Erie. We have a few Nerf bores around here. That's back in there, but St. Johns River. That was a really memorable tournament for me. I spent over 2 hours trying to catch a 8-pound bass, and I really thought I was there for like 20 minutes. And my camera guy's like, oh, we've been here for an hour and a half. And I'm like, oh, wow. And it was just starting to get windy. It was just starting to get muddy. And I'm like, I'm looking at that white crawl I got in there, and just all of a sudden it just starts swimming off real slowly. And I set the hook, and it was an 8-something pounder. And won that. And that was a big win for me because I'd never won in Florida. I mean, Florida was always my nemesis. I would have had some great Angler of the Year finishes, if not Angler of the Years, if we didn't have to go to Florida every year. And I always bombed in Florida. But a good tournament. Alabama River was a really cool tournament. All spotted bass. I mean, I've never in all my life had a tournament where every fish I caught in that tournament was all spotted bass. So, you know, you think of 20 fish, and I think it was 70-something pounds, but really cool. The river was flooded. It was a neat event. And then you go here to 2007, Lake Erie, Empire Chase. That was all smallmouth. So I was fortunate enough to win a tournament, you know, largemouth, all spotted bass, and then all smallmouth. This one here was just, golly, when I think back to that tournament, we could probably talk about these because there's so many little sub-stories in all of them. Broke the bolts on my engine the very first day. It was such big waves. The NOAA weather buoy said 12 to 15 foot waves. And I'm just going and going like 18 miles an hour, and you fall off of them, bang. And I was like, man, my boat's not handling right. And I look back, and my engine's like just tilted sideways. And I think I pulled into Silver Creek Marina or something, and I called, and they brought me a backup boat. I finally got to Dunkirk like at 11:30. And in 5 drops, I caught 20-something pounds. I didn't cull. I mean, I caught 5. Buddy of mine, Derek Rimmets, was out there, and his trolling motor was all broke, and he couldn't get it off. So I jumped in his boat and helped get his trolling motor off and put it in the floor. And me and him just surfed all the way back. It took us probably 3 hours to get back to Buffalo. But man, just what an awesome tournament win for me to catch some smallmouth. I probably caught in that tournament one of my deepest fish ever. I caught a couple in 52 foot of water. And the only reason I was in 52 foot of water, I had to retie, I had to cull. There's so much current, so much stuff going on in that lake that, I mean, I just drifted way out off of it, and I looked down on my depth finder, and there's fish right underneath my boat, and I dropped down there and caught one in 52 foot. That was kind of cool. Major League Fishing. That was a cup down at Istapoga. I'll never forget that. A big hurricane came through the final day. Nobody's catching anything, and like the final round, they opened up the whole lake. And in my previous days, I'd been running up these creeks, catching them outside of current. And so when they opened up that lake, I was like, man, let's go up this creek right here. And I kept fishing. And I finally come around a bend, and they're just schooling like crazy. And man, I caught them and won that tournament. It was a cool tournament to win. But kind of moving on down, if we got away from trophies, I mean, there's stories on all of them, guys. I mean, the Redcrest trophy, Conroe catching that 8-pounder on a drop shot, you know, that's a memory I'll never ever forget. Chaffalaya Basin. 2009, that's an open. I'll never forget that one. It's the only year I've never made the championship or the classic. 2009, and I had to win that tournament to have a chance to win it. And old Cliff Crochet, he was out of it, and the final day he moved up enough. But that's an interesting story, and that's probably one we'll dive off into it another day. Why it gives me goosebumps. 2009 was a special year. I didn't make the classic, but there's a reason I didn't. We'll save that one for another day. This is a cool trophy. The first ever Legends tournament, I got to fish with Bill Dance. Of all people, I got to fish with Bill Dance. Jimmy Houston was in it, Roland Martin, Johnny Morris, me and Kevin Van Dam, and Timmy Horton and Ott Defoe. And it was just a dream come true for me to come and get to fish with Bill. I mean, who wouldn't want to fish with Bill, the icon? And me and Bill won. And let me tell you guys, Bill's amazing. Like, if you think he looks really cool on TV and you think he's a good dude on TV, he's 10 times better in person. He's a really good dude. I've never not seen him, and he just comes up and gives you a big old hug. He's a really neat guy. Obviously, Bassmaster Classic. Grand Lake right here at home. Guys, that's a all-time dream of mine. I was talking with another person. We had the Classic here in Tulsa in 2013, and so much pressure, so much local pressure, every news channel, everybody they want to hand you the trophy before the tournament ever starts. They don't realize how it works. And I let it really get to me in 2013. 2016 rolled around, and I just kind of took a little bit different approach and took it, just kind of didn't say yes to every little thing. I focused on fishing a little more. And man, it worked out phenomenal. Caught 29-pound bag that final day, and probably what I love or what's most fond about that event, there's tons of fun stuff, but just to see the happiness on my kids' faces, Kylie and Cade, not so much. He was little, he didn't know, but Kylie, just to see her face and to see my wife's face and what it meant to them, that was pretty awesome. It gives me goosebumps even thinking about it. I got to move on from that one because that was a special, special day. Sam Rayburn, super cool event. September, I'll never forget that. It was so hot down there. And that final day, I caught him on topwater schooling in the forest, and it was just epic, like monster big ones everywhere. Caught him just like I did in that late summertime video that I did. Little bit of a funny story on Rayburn. I don't know how long this video is getting, but I don't think it was that event, but it was an event a little bit later in the year. I'm leading the points going into the final event, and it was at Rayburn, and I put in super early, and it's kind of windy, and the water was super, super low, and you had to run around to Castle Boykins. Well, there's this island out there. There's this clay island that sticks about this far out of the water, and it's pitch dark, and the waves are probably 2-3 foot tall, so they're kind of washing on that island. And man, it's dark, and I'm running to take off, and remember, I'm leading the points, so all my entries will be paid the next year, and just trying to make ends meet. And man, last second, like just right there, I see that island, and like I thought, man, if I turn to the left, I'm like I could roll or crash. If I turn to the right, I'm not. So I just gassed it. I mean, I just like last second just goosed it all I could. I got up over the hump on the island, got on the backside, and had so much adrenaline rushing, like the nose of my boat was at the edge of the water, and the motor was way, I pushed that sucker down that clay island, got it back to floating, and fished with wet shoes and wet socks the rest of the day, and went on to have a pretty good tournament. But yeah, I like Rayburn. That's a pretty fond event. Another cool event, the Challenge Cup. The thing I like about the Major League Fishing, every fish counts. If you remember back to that television show, I found a dock that had them on it, and like I could catch them every single cast on that dock. And man, made a big comeback at the end. It was, I don't know how many I caught off that dock, but a ton of them. Really a cool little special event right here. It was back-to-back tournaments that I won in 2015. Just what a year, you know, that I went from 15 and then, you know, the next was the Classic. But one Kentucky Lake, I'd been so close so many times, and man, my buddy Kevin, he just always would beat me. And man, I finally closed the door on one. I caught like an 8-pounder to go, just a monster fish. That was a cool event for me. And then we go a month later, we go up to the St. Lawrence Seaway, and man, I did it again. It was another really cool event, and just good memory, good memory. Then you got this one right here. Check this one out. This one is Fun in the Sun Kids Fishing Derby, Oologah Lake, age division 6 to 10. My son caught a channel catfish in our annual Oologah Fishing Derby, and he wanted to put his trophy in with mine. I said, absolutely. So there it is. This is a cool event for me. This is a PAA event on Lake Norman in August, and just, you know, I've always said like the toughest time of the year is August, September. It's just hot and a grind, and I feel like I do good in those. So it was a neat event. I caught him putting a frog on a buzzbait. I caught him swimming a jig and caught some really big ones. And the last day I caught a couple big monsters out of a brush pile. Just really running new water, running shade every day. I like Lake Norman because you'll see right here, here's another tournament win on Lake Norman in North Carolina. It's just a lake that I related to a lot because, you know, I grew up fishing Lake Texoma, and I felt like Lake Norman was a lot like it. Had stripers, had clay, had sandbanks, a lot of docks, and it was a cool lake, a great lake for me, obviously, winning multiple tournaments on there. You kind of bend down here, we get to this lower level. These are kind of cool. We've got a boat official that makes these for us that are just amazing. It's my dog's barking. Rex, hush. I just got my dog, this puppy. He's like 3.5 months old, and he's huge. So how about you sit right there and be good, okay? Okay, be good. Anyway, back to this 30 millimeter shot during Operation Desert Storm. Just super cool. One thing I pray and hope I never take for granted is our freedoms and the people and the prices they've paid for it. He gave me another one right there when I won the points champion. Kind of a cool picture. This is my first dog, Sam. He was my buddy. He traveled with me back when I camped everywhere. He was pretty famous, and that was my first tractor I ever bought. That was right after I bought that house, but I don't know why my wife put it here. This is super cool because I like stuff like this that's really old. But got this from Johnny Moore's, just time-tested solid as rock conservation. It's just a really neat gift. That is a real axe handle, you know, from the prehistoric days. So it's just super cool. I mean, that thing right there is no telling, 10, 12,000 years old. Put it on a wood, and that was a really neat gift, getting that from him. Yeah, I mean, that was a kind of a quick overview. If we came down here, we got a few other things. This guitar is really neat. Anybody that can play guitar, maybe you guys could tell me. It's a real guitar, but it's a gift. I need to remember the name, but he gave it to me at the Bassmaster Classic. He built these for a lot of the fishermen, but that's just a dadgum cool guitar. I don't know. What do you think? I just need to learn how to play it, I think. You can hook it up to an amplifier. I don't know how to play it, but one of these days, maybe I'll take that up when I quit fishing a little bit. Guys, I get goosebumps when I get down here and I start talking about this kind of stuff. You know, I did a Wounded Warriors in Action tour kind of deal where I took guys fishing, just introduced them to the sport that we all love. And one of the gifts that I got from them was this, and this is a super unique, Rex, I need you to sit down, buddy. Super unique wood. This is a really rare, it's a purple heartwood out of South America, Central America, super hard, super tough, you know, kind of like, you know, the warriors that fought for our country, but just a cool deal. My coin goes right here. They all give you a coin. Kind of cool on that coin, you know, if you're ever caught without your coin and they slap it down on the bar, you know, you're supposed to buy the drinks. But man, I got a lot of great friends that I'm still in contact today that I got to fish through those tours, you know, and that's a big thank you to Optum because they're the ones that really put that thing on, and just a cool memories. I got just goosebumps thinking about some of the fishing days that we had, you know. Me and Brian Eish, we fished together a couple different times. Tyson Scott, we got to fish together. I got to fish, Davey Height fished one event with us. And the guy that he had caught an 8-pounder that day, and we just had a lot of fun. There was a lot of great memories. I'm leaving out a lot of the guys that I'm still in contact with today, but just a cool memory of getting to spend time with guys that have given so much for our country. Just a little backstory. They received a Purple Heart because, man, they got wounded in action, so paid the ultimate price for us. Don't ever take it for granted. Yeah, that's really kind of it. You know, when you come here, this is like, what an awesome year last year. You know, for me, guys, to win the points championship, that's probably, of all my trophies, that's the one that's most coveted for me because that was all year long. And the competition that was amongst, that's mind-blowing that I've got that trophy. And what a year it was, you know, from everything going on here at the house, you know, with the tornado. That's why we're even talking about this. You know, this house got totaled, so now we got a new house and we got these trophies in here, you know, and then to win the Redcrest and to catch all those fish and 20-something back-to-back casts and to start the year off with Conroe. Super, super special trophies for me. So guys, that's just a little bit into the house and getting moved in and kind of scratched the surface of a few things. So Rex is guarding the house. But, you know, maybe next time we're gonna talk a little bit about, I want to dive off into this aquarium. I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek of it. It's still kind of new in the planning processes right now because the water's new. I've got a couple little bass in there. They're not my permanent bass because they're getting acclimated. I'm getting bacteria built up in this aquarium. It's the same aquarium I had in my old house. We just put it here in the new house. It wasn't destroyed in the tornado. So I love this. This is my entertainment right here, playing with these bass. I mean, just a little bit. This spotted bass has got the biggest attitude of any fish there is. I mean, he is mean. And there's one in there bigger and he bullies them all over the place. So no, that's it, guys. That's a look at the memory wall here at the house, at the Evers household. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.